Before I start this video, I want to say a big thank you to John Buck for making my awesome audio possible. You rock, man. Let me know whatever you want done, and I'll do it. I'll probably regret saying that later, but that's fine. Proof God Exists by Man of God.
So, I know you guys saw the title of the video, Proof That God Exists. Let me make a little bit of a disclaimer right now. Or not a disclaimer, understanding. I used to be an atheist.
Well, what do you mean by atheist? Do you mean you just didn't believe in God for a while? Or do you mean like you had some careful consideration about the God question and found that there was no evidence for it, so you didn't believe because of that? Like, what do you mean when you say the word atheist? Because that's really important. Whether you were or weren't an atheist in the past doesn't really concern me as far as what it is that caused you to believe in what you believe today.
More than most of you who are even watching this can't even understand. And science, things of that nature. Now, I've been on both sides of this argument. I've been the one opposing it and saying everything that everybody is saying in the comments of my videos. I've said them all. Same arguments. None of it is new material. I've used it. And now that I read the word, and I'm new at reading the word diligently like this, but I've been a Christian for a few years now. Now here's the proof that God exists. Anybody who seeks God, He gives you proof.
The major problem with this so-called proof is moving the goalpost. From an outsider perspective, you, sir, could always accuse me of not actually seeking God. No matter how much I protest that I've not gotten the evidence, and yet I was actually legitimately seeking God, you could always accuse me of lying. Say you didn't try hard enough, you weren't sincere enough, you didn't look in the right places, you missed the evidence that God provided for you, etc. You can always move the goalpost back from your position to say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, therefore that's why you didn't find the evidence that God gave you. You just missed it, it's your fault, it's not God's fault, and there you go. There's no way for me to prove to you that I've legitimately sought God, whatever that might mean in your view, and for you then to say, well, you've done that, yet you didn't get the result that I thought you would get. That falsifies my idea. That means my idea is incorrect. So I'm positing a thing that you can perform that I can always change my response to. So if I said, okay, open the door and you will see a ghost if you really want to. And you open the door and you say, I don't see any ghosts. I said, you didn't really want to. And he said, no, I really wanted to. And then, no, you just really didn't want to. Because if you really wanted to, you would have seen the ghost. It's an unfalsifiable test. There's no winning condition for the person unless you had some way to read their mind actively and see, yes, they indeed do want to see the ghost to 100% capacity in their brain, and this is an objective standard that you know absolutely works without a shadow of doubt. They open the door and their brain just goes, no ghost, and you go, well, okay, I guess I was wrong in my assertion that if you wanted to see the ghost, that you would see the ghost. What you have here is a no-win scenario. This is not proof of anything at all in any level of capacity, because I could say, well, if you legitimately look for goblins, ogres, and dragons, you will find them. You know, well, I don't believe those exist. Oh, see, you haven't looked. You don't know. You haven't looked. You haven't legitimately looked. Okay, I'll look. Where am I looking for? You'll find them. Just look for them. You'll find them. You come back after however long of searching. It's like, I didn't find. You weren't legitimately looking. Okay. So this is a non-proof of anything.
Shocker there. Don't come on to me about God not existing if you haven't sought after him.
And here lies another problem. You're assuming, for whatever reason, that I or whoever else that's responding to your videos, whether it be with videos or with text or a combination thereof, that they haven't done the hard work of looking for God. How in the world do you know that? Well, because they haven't found God, obviously, duh. But you don't know what they went through. You don't know what their experience is. You don't know what they did in life. You have no idea. And so this is a huge assumption. It's also, by the way, an assumption to say he in regards to God, because that references a particular type of God idea rather than a universal God idea, which might be what they arrive at as a conclusion. In fact, there is a comment asking you on this video about other religions and other ideas of God. That's a legitimate question because, well, they're finding God, it's just not your version of God. So which one is the real God? If there's no way to differentiate with this proof, then it's not proof of God at all.
Because he will show himself to you for those who have faith in him and believe in him before seeing.
So before you get the proof of God that you have to look for sincerely, you have to have faith in God. So you don't get the proof until you already believe in God. That's completely and utterly incoherent in every sense of the word. You can't get the proof unless you believe. Then you'll have the proof. But you won't need the proof because you already believe. So, what? That doesn't make any sense. To give you an example of why this is incoherent, I am making the statement, I am God. Now, I don't want to assume anything about you, sir, but I would assume that you would doubt that statement very much. You would want me to prove it. All I have to do is then say, I'll prove it to you after you have faith in me that I'm God. Then I'll give you the proof. But why would you need the proof once you believed me and my statement anyways? I've already got you. I don't need to do anything. And you say, well, now I have faith in you, so where's the proof? Why do you need proof? You have faith in me. I gave you the proof. The proof was that you had faith in me. And now that you have faith in me, you don't need proof. It's just incoherent no matter how you look at it. Tune in next time for part 2, in which I'll be doing the same thing that I've already been doing, but more of it to this guy, because this wasn't enough. I have more to say, and I want to say it, but Vegas is acting up and not rendering right, so I'm just going to be like, alright, fine, Vegas, fine! I'll just do it in 2 parts. You happy now, Vegas?